the day that the Lord hath made, and let us rejoice and be glad in it. It's a very, very good thing for brethren to dwell together in unity. And we work together as a team at Ewarton Primary. Let us bow our heads in prayer as we convene this meeting. Our righteous, holy God, who art in heaven, here we are again in your presence, Lord Jesus. And we want to thank you, my God, for your goodness towards each and every one of us who gather here on this forum. My God, we are here, Father, to plan and to discuss things, God, that will affect your wonderful creation. We pray as we go through this meeting, Lord God, you will give us new vision, insight, new knowledge, understanding, and wisdom as we proceed throughout the rest of this school year. May this meeting be successful as we ask in your name, we pray. Amen.
Good afternoon to you all, parents, students, teachers of Ewarton Primary, our vice principals, a pleasant afternoon again. It is my duty to welcome you all, and it is indeed a pleasure to have you here with us. Now, we know it is going to be a tedious and long year. It is with that in mind that we have decided to call this our first grade meeting. We look forward to working with you. We want to ensure that things go as smoothly as possible. And we hope by the end of this meeting, all your fears and all your doubts and worries will be put to rest, and you all will be comfortable working with us as teachers, as administrators at the Ewarton Primary School. Again, I welcome you all to this, our first PTA meeting.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Brown. Madam Principal, Vice Principals, parents, guardians, a wonderful evening to you all. The task is mine this evening to indulge you in a little pep talk. Now, it is our hope that by the end of this meeting, you would have all benefited or been well informed of the registration process and play your role in assisting us to complete the registration forms efficiently and on time. We also hope that you will be aware of some of the challenges that we have encountered so far as a team and how we can work together as a team to ensure that the grade 6 students of Ewarton Primary achieve their maximum potential. The Ministry of Education slogan states that every child can learn and every child must learn. This is definitely the year, parents, where every child must, and I'm going to stress on the must, every child must learn. And as I indulge you in this little pep talk this evening, you will understand why. Now, I will begin my little pep talk with an overview of the PEP for grade 6. Now, PEP for grade 6 will have 3 components. We have the ability test, where the students will be sitting in February, all right? And that would be a tentative date because we know that we are now facing a pandemic and things can change. So the tentative date is February. Now, for this ability test, it requires of the students to not necessarily use what they have learned in the curriculum, but it will somewhat be based on what they have learned in the curriculum. Now, this will consist of 40 multiple choice questions. And I must say that we have already started our preparation. We have already started preparing our students for this ability test. For those parents who are aware of what their students are doing and they're probably in their child's Google Classroom, they would have seen that already. We would have done 5 of these ability practices. And as the students do them, we also ensure that we go through, give the students the right strategy that they need to answer these questions, and so that they are better able to do well on this exam. So the ability test, that's 40 multiple choice questions. Now the other component will be the performance task, and this will be done in March. Now this one is not a multiple choice test. This is where the students will have to apply all the skills that they have learned in solving some real life problems. So they will have to think critically and analyze and be able to show their understanding of how they arrive at their answers. So they will not be given any choices. They are on their own with this component of the PEP. Now, the last component is the curriculum based test. Now, as the name suggests, curriculum based, these tests will test these students on all the concepts that they have done in the curriculum. All right, now they will do mathematics, they will do language arts, they will do social studies, and they will also do science. 4 of the core subject areas, and these, of course, will be multiple choice questions. Now, I'm going to stick up in here and I'm going to say to you that the previous set of grade 6 students would have benefited from doing the grade 4 leg of the PEP. They would also, some of them would have benefited from doing the grade 5 leg of the PEP. And so once they do the grade 6 leg, all of those would have been combined to give them their final placement score. Now, guess what? This cohort of grade 6 students did not have that privilege at all. So they did not sit any PEP exam in grade 4, and they did not sit any in grade 5. We are not sure yet as to whether or not they will do that grade 5 leg in December. We have not received any word yet from the ministry about that. What's here? We have not received any word yet from the ministry about that, and so we are still awaiting. But the fact that they have not done grade 4 PEP, they have not done grade 5 PEP, but we know that they must do some aspect of the PEP in grade 6. So guess what? This is one of the reasons why I say every child must learn in grade 6. No qualms about it, no doubts. They must learn because they have to make grade 6 count. There's nothing for them, no other grade exam for them to lean on for support if they have not done well or if they did not do well in grade 6, right? Grade 6 is all they have. So we have to ensure that grade 6 counts. And so every child must learn in grade 6. Now, I will now be taking you through the form that you would have had to fill out. Now, your teachers would have sent you a registration form, a PEP form, where we would have been asking you for some information for your child. Now, this is not the formal registration card. This registration form is just for you to give us some information that we are going to need to input on your child's registration card, your child's PEP registration card. Now, most persons, if not all, would have seen those forms already because they were all sent out from Tuesday. So you would have seen and you would have been familiar with some of the things that would have been on there. Now, They ask, I'm just going to take you through so that you sort of understand what is happening and how to fill out those forms correctly. Now, it will ask for your name, for this child's name, of course, and you're going to write out the child's full name, first name, middle name, and last name. All right. Now, it will ask also for the child's date of birth, and you're going to write that out as well. So, the child was born January 25th, 2010. You're going to write all of that out on the form. It will also ask you for the child's, yes, I mentioned the date of birth, I mentioned the name, and it will also ask you if your child is a ward of the state. All right? Is the government in control of your child? Is the child living in a children's home? Anything like that? I'm sure we have no child like that in our grade six uh, cohort this year. So you would write no for that. All right. So child is a word of the state. You write no. All right. Now I'm gonna stick a pin here as well because some persons might be asked for the child's birth certificate. So you have to have that on hand and ready just in case you are asked for that. Now, you may be asked for the child's birth certificate if there is an error in the spelling of the child's name, the child's date of birth, or the child's gender. Now, the PEP registration cards, they have come pre-slugged. What do I mean by that? Is that some information was already input in them from the ministry. All right. Now, we are not able to make any corrections to those information. All right. The date of birth, the name, the gender, we are not able to make any corrections to those. So just in case there are errors, we need to present the child's birth certificate to the student assessment unit, and they are the ones who will make the necessary corrections. So you will need to take in the birth certificate as well as a copy, the original as well as a copy, so that it can be certified, and we will send the copy to the student assessment unit. So not everybody will require birth certificates. The next reason why some persons might require a birth certificate is that they are new to Ewarton Primary School. So if it is that you are a new student to Ewarton Primary, then you must present your birth certificate. So the original along with a copy, and it will be certified, and we send the copy over to the SAU. All right, I hope you are following so far, I am being clear. All right. Now we're moving on. So the form will also ask for some information for the parents. Now it will ask for parents' name, parents' contact number, parents' address, and parents' email address. Now it is not necessary for you to give both mother and father's name, right? One parent is quite enough according to the Ministry of Education. So the name of one parent, a reliable contact number, an email address if you have one. If you don't have one, then it's not a problem. You can simply leave that part blank. All right. And also, you are going to be asked for your address. All right. Now, let's move on a little further. Now, after all of that, you are going to be asked to choose the schools, and this is the critical part of it all. Now, you will have 7 choices. How wonderful is that? How privileged you are to have 7 choices. Now, before I even go into that, I am going to say to you also that there are going to be some parents who might also think that, my child is not ready to sit the PEP examination this year for 2022. So I'm going to hold back my child, right? I don't feel that my child is ready academically. All right? No, please make a note of this before you decide to keep back your child. Now, if the child is not going to sit the PEP examination in 2022, it means that this child will not remain in grade 6. This child will be sent back to grade 5. Now, you might be wondering, why is the child being sent back to grade 5? Why not keep the child in grade 6 so that they can have 2 years of grade 6? Right? Why not? Because it would be better that way. They would get the content twice. However, that cannot work. And the reason why that cannot work is because in 2023, the next set of grade 6 students, they will be doing the grade 5 leg of the PEP examination. And we know that if that is done, the grade 5 leg of the PEP, that score that they get, will be added to what they get in grade 6. And that will give them their final placement score. Now, if your child remains in grade 6, it means that that child will miss out on the grade 5 component. So that child will only have one score, and that would be the grade 6 score. And that will put the child at a disadvantage. And we don't want to put our children, we don't want to put our students at a disadvantage. So please bear that in mind. Your child will be sent back to grade 5. The other thing that you need to bear in mind is the year when the child was born. So if the child was born in 2008, then this is the final year, the final opportunity for them to sit the PEP. All right? So if the child was born in 2008, don't even think about doing that. All right. Now, moving on to the choices, the crucial part. The crucial part now. Now, if you notice on the form, there are 5 choices first, and then there are 2 more underneath. Now, for the 5 choices, you can choose a school from any parish in Jamaica. That's right, any parish in Jamaica. You are free to do so. All right? But just make sure that when you are choosing those 5 schools, that they are chosen by priority. So if it is that you really, really, really want your child to say go to Dintil or Charlie Mount or St. Catherine High School, whichever it is, that school should be chosen first. That would be your first choice. No, if my child doesn't get to go to that school, then there's another school that I want my child to go to. So I put that for my second choice. And I keep going down the line according to priority. Now, the trick of it is that you cannot repeat any school. So once you have chosen the 7 schools, it means that you must have 7 different schools on your form. All right? 7 different schools. No repetition. Now, for the 6th and 7th choices, it's another little tricky part. Now, the 6th and 7th choices must be what we call cluster schools. Now, what do I mean by cluster schools? Cluster schools are the schools that are in close proximity, and in our situation, it would be Ewarton Primary. Close proximity to Ewarton Primary School. And we know those schools. All right? So we know about Ewarton High, that is a cluster school. Charlemont High is another cluster school. Magra High is another cluster school. Dintil Technical High is one as well. And Bogwalk High or Enid Bennett High School is another of the cluster schools. So you have 5 cluster schools to choose from. So when you make your choices for the 6th and 7th choice, You are going to ensure that you have 2 cluster schools. Only cluster schools can be chosen for your 6th and 7th choices. This doesn't mean that you cannot choose a cluster school for your first choice, all right? But it means that you have the privilege of choosing 3 cluster schools the most for your 1st to 5th choices. So when you look at your choices, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, you can only choose 3 cluster schools because you're going to need the other 2 to be placed at your 6th and 7th choices. No, I know that sometimes there are some parents who say, guess what? I want my child to go to Kingston College, and my child must go to Kingston College. Or I want my child to go to Arden, and my child must go to Arden. So you know what I'm going to do? I am going to put Arden on my form 7 times. Arden for first choice, Arden for second, Arden third, Arden fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. And it's just Arden going down the line. Now, when you do that, it doesn't mean that the child has a greater chance of going to Arden or going to whichever school that you have placed so many times on the list. All you are doing is putting your child at a disadvantage. All right? Because guess what? What if the child does not get the grade or the mark to go to Arden? Then, of course, the ministry is going to look and say, let me look at the child's second choice or third choice. Let us see if the child will be able to go to any of those schools. When they look at that, what are they going to see? The same school. Now, this leaves them no choice at all, but to send your child to a school, a random school, any school, a school that you might not have wanted your child to attend. All right? So I am telling you this from now. Please do not put one school more than one. Don't put a school more than one. Make sure you have 7 different choices. All right? This is the best way to go for your child. Now, as I close, I am going to say to you again, every child can learn, every child must. And this is the grade that every child has to learn. They must learn. And the grade 16, they are pulling all the stops and ensuring that every child must learn. Because guess what? Grade 6 might be all your child has. They might have no support from grade 4. They might not have grade 4 scores to back them up, to lean on. Right? The previous students, if they did not perform well for the grade 6 level, then because they would have done grade 4 and maybe they would have performed better in grade 4, they would have grade 4 to boost their scores or to lean on for support. Some students might not have done well in grade 4, but they might have done well in grade 5. So they would have had their grade 5 scores to lean on. All right? But guess what? What do these children have to lean on? What do our little gems have to lean on? Parents? Nothing. Right now, all they have is grade 6. And that is why we have to make grade 6 count. We have to work together in partnership to make grade 6 count. All right, parents? So every child is going to learn and every child must learn at grade 6. I will now hand you over to our guidance counselor, Miss Christie, who will shed some more light and give you some more information so you can make informed choices when you are choosing your schools. Miss Christie,
Good
over to
evening,
you.
everyone. All protocols being observed. Pick your choice. The whole of them nice, but you have to be wise. Let me first apologize to my parents and other viewers and inform you that the presenters from 3 of our high schools who had consented to be here because of internet connectivity and the issue with the rain. They're not able to. But I'm going to try as best as possible to guide you through with the help of Mr. Stewart. So yes, all of them nice. And as Ms. De Silva said, you must choose at least 2 from the cluster. Our little cluster in this side of Northwest St. Catherine includes the Ewarton High School, Charlemont High School, McGrath High School, Dintil Technical High School, and the Enid Bennett High School, formerly, anybody can remind me of that school's name before? Yes, it was Bogowak High. Now it's the Enid Bennett High School. So I'm going to start very quickly with Dintil, but Mr. Stewart will provide for you in the chat email address where you can get a tour, a virtual tour of the Dintil Technical High School and its achievements over the years. So very quickly, it is one of the largest secondary institutions in this side of St. Catherine. And it has dedicated itself over 8 decades to give quality teaching, learning experiences to their students in order to make them as productive men and women of the Jamaican society and the wider world. They boast of having been top in the following areas: agricultural science, home economics, engineering, cosmetology, music, drama, woodwork, and the list goes on. In terms of extracurricular activities, yes, their cadet is up and running: cricket, netball, table tennis, and a wide variety of areas of clubs and societies that your students can be engaged in. It is one of the few high schools in Jamaica with a gym. Wow, yes, and the gym is for everybody. They boast of having a very, very exceptional top 30 school score in the entire Jamaica. So when you think of all the other high schools that you would want to send your child, guess what? Dintil is in the top 30 when compared to the over 100 and odd high schools in respect to their PEP, their CXCs and the CAPE examinations. They boast of former student Melissa Lightsbody, as she was ranked first in Jamaica in business subjects. To top off their CAPE subjects, they boast of having nearly 90 to 100% pass in English literature, electronic document preparation and management, and accounts. And to date, they have one of the youngest math Olympiad, a grade 9 student at the time in the form of Brittany Campbell. So Dintil certainly must be one of the school of choice for your cluster, or your first, second, third, fourth, or fifth choice. My alma mater, Charlemont High School, the Eagles, yeah. They boast of having the top junior achievement company, the Buzz, from 2013, and they have continued to excel in that area of business studies. It's the only traditional high school in this area of St. Catherine. The others, including Dintil Technical High, is really a technical high school, while the others, Ewarton High, McGrath High, and Edith Bennett, they were originally secondary schools, now upgraded to the high school status. Charlemont boasts of its internationally renowned Rumba Mentor Band. Very exceptional music is produced and performed by the members of the schools who are part of this band. They're also ranked in the top 30 top schools in Jamaica. The Costa Cup qualifiers, yes. And they boast of having one of our own athletes from the area, Asafa Powell. They also did exceptionally well in our National Schools Challenge quiz, as well as boast of having passes of over 80% to 100 in subjects such as physics, math, clothing and textiles, music, chemistry, English language, social studies, to name a few. They also boast of having their own past student who is owner and operator of the Beacon, Charlemont High School. Now, Mr. Stewart, I'm going to ask you to help me with that slide for McGrath. Still not getting Mrs. Jack on. There seems to be some issue there in the Banbury area. There hasn't been much internet connectivity there since morning. Mr. Stewart? Brandon McGrath High. It's a little teeny bit blurry for me. Go ahead now, Mr. Stewart. Belton, Northwest St. Catherine, about 2 kilometers from Linstead, is the prestigious McGrath High School, whose doors were opened on September 7, 1970, ushering new landmark in local education. It is situated in the district of Treadwells on approximately 11 acres of land and was named in honor of a philanthropist and former custos of the parish, Custos McGrath. Parents, this information will be forwarded to you, but very quickly, in 2004, McGrath launched its own bottled coconut water. You see some of the stuff on the screen there. In 2010, they were awarded the Burger King Award for debating. In 2015, the TVET Award in Agriculture. 2019, top 10 in Cape Agricultural Science. 2019, partnership with JPS through the planting and installation of study branches. They were also placed third in the Da Costa Cup, quarterfinalists in the Schools Challenge competition, parish finalists in speech and drama, and just recently in 2021, they were the Regional Cape Integrated Mathematics. They were awarded the Integrated Mathematics Award for Excellence. Can you give me the other side quickly, sir? At McGrath, efforts is made to unearth, develop, and showcase students' talents through the performing arts and other extracurricular activities. Social, I want to say, I'm not seeing that little part on the side, but they're encouraged through the clubs and societies and sports affiliations that they are affiliated with. Down to the next slide quickly. So yes, further down, they give you highlights of some of the other offerings of the schools. McGrath is equipped with environmentally sustainable practices such as greenhouse, commercial farming, where sweet pepper and callaloo are grown. Yes, they have the chicken coop, and they have the farm animals on the farm where the produce is sent over to the canteen, and the canteen will provide lunches for students and staff members. One last one now, sir, then I move on to the other. The school boasts of a very good soft skill program, which upon entering grade 7, the students are prepared to empower themselves and as much as possible to maximize their potential. So yes, McGrath is one of those schools, after taking in the students at grade 7, they help to empower them and to make sure that in coming into that school, they are aided in such a way that their full potential can be harnessed. Thank you very much, sir. And yes, for the Ewarton High School, Ewarton High School boasts of their past students, doctors, nurses, and teachers, their involvement in school challenge quiz over the years, the performing arts. They boast of having their own agricultural produce at the school that they often use in the canteen to assist students and the staff members. They also boast of having 70 to 70 to 100% pass in subjects such as IT, yes, and in English language, to name a few. So yes, parents and students who are listening, Ewarton High School has been offering a lot. Don't underestimate them. I have seen it for myself. Children crying, I'm not going to Ewarton, I'm not going to Ewarton. But when I inquire, Miss, I get me 8 subjects. We are not going to undermine none of the schools in the area because we know they all work from a similar curriculum. It's up to you and your child to go to these schools and do well. The same goes for Enid Bennett High. Yes, they are not as rounded as Charlie Mount in terms of the athletics and the football and so on. But yes, they have their netball going on, the clubs and society, the Red Cross, Kiwanis Club for the younger students. They also offer exceptional service in their woodwork area, clothing and textiles, food and nutrition. Language arts seems to be doing very well there, as well as the business subjects. So parents, we have 5 of them to choose from. I'm so sorry that the presenters weren't able to sell their schools as they would want to. But from the information that I got, I was able to do a little presentation. But parents, think of it. You went to a high school in the area, some of us, yes, and you did extremely well. Your child can go to any of these schools and excel. It's up to you. Remember, any 2 for your cluster school, all of them nice, but let me encourage you now. First, know your child. And in knowing your child, you will have to do your research about these schools that and their offerings. And then you make the connection or the link. I believe that this school would be the best school for my child because they offer so and so and so. And I believe that my child has the liking for so and so. So know the schools first that you're going to choose. Don't just get up and choose a school like out of the blue. Do your research. If you allow the children to choose for themselves, make sure that you are a part of that research. If it's an all-girls school, you must know. When the results come out, you don't cry and say, but me never want him all girls or all boys. You should have known, and you should be a part of the selection of the schools. Be realistic in your choices. Be realistic. Charlemont, Dintil, Ewarton, Magra, Enid Bennett, all of them nice. Pick your choice. I'm handing back to, I think it will be Mrs. Gordon Douglas, who will take us a little further into some housekeeping for grade 6. Mrs. Gordon Douglas. Mrs. Douglas, are you on?
Good evening, everyone. I have been having some terrible internet issues. Thank you, Mr. Stewart. All right, so parents, and of course, I know that some students, they are here listening to what is happening, and definitely to my colleagues who are here and the administrative staff, good evening to you all. And the task is mine to speak a little about some of the responsibilities that we have as parents and of course, our students. So parents, you have your responsibility that you need to ensure that you live up to, and your child also have the responsibilities to live up to. And one of the things that we have been focusing on since last week, at grade 6, we focused on responsibility, and it is also one of our core values. So it's very important. So when we are there doing devotion and our journal entry with students, it's not just for them alone, but because we are focused on them, then we try to prepare them and allow them to know why it is important for them to take responsibility for many things, especially their learning. So let me start with parents. Parents, it is very important for you to develop a relationship, a partnership with your child's teacher, right? When you have that relationship, then you will be comfortable to call the teacher, and I'm talking specifically now at grade 6, you will be comfortable to call the teacher to find out what is happening. And also the child will be comfortable to say, mommy, daddy, can you please call miss, can you please call sir and ask about this? Because sometimes they do not want to express themselves in class, right? And apart from the fact that we're on the meet, we don't have any other communication with them because the parents, most of the parents, they are the ones in the WhatsApp group. So ensure that you develop that. So it's your responsibility, parents. Also, as parents, we need to encourage our child. Encourage our child to do well, motivate them. I know that some of them, they are not intrinsically motivated. And I spoke about this also in devotion with my class. They need external force. They need to be extrinsically motivated. They need that drive from you, that push to do well. Or is it that you're going to ensure that your child is doing well or your child is making progress? You're going to check what is happening, check the books, check the stream of the class, speak to the class teacher, send a message. If you're unable to get in touch with the class teacher, of course, try and get in touch with the supervisor. If you're not able to get in touch with the grade supervisor, then of course, you can try as best as possible to get in touch with the administrative staff, who will in turn try and speak with the supervisor or the class teacher. So you need to ensure that you do that. Now, students, for you, because I heard I only have 2 minutes. All right, so students, it is your responsibility. And of course, all of us at grade 6, we know what has been happening. So you know some of your responsibilities as a student. You have to ensure that you complete your task. I know that it is not humanly possible for you to complete all the tasks on time, especially considering the fact that you have just started grade 6 and it is a little bit different from the previous grade in terms of the workload. So therefore, I know that with the right attitude, right? The right attitude, then you will definitely reach there. So don't wait until the task pile up. That is the time you're going to say, okay, I can't manage and give too much work and all of these things. No, you're going to take it timely and get it out of the way. Remember, it is also your responsibility as a student to ask for help. Ask your parents, ask other family members, whoever you have in your surrounding that is capable of helping you, you're going to ask. And definitely, I can speak for the team at grade 6, you can ask your teachers, right, to help you, because all of us, we do not learn on the same level at the same time. And all of us, we have our different gifts. We have our different skills. So some persons, they are better in some subject areas than others. And nothing is wrong with that. But guess what? You are going to work hard. You will need to work hard on those subjects that you know that you're not very well you do not do well in, so that you can improve your performance. Also, students, do your research. You need to research. Sometimes students don't understand that they have the internet at their fingertip. I have no problem with students using the internet to get information. But sometimes we have to be careful of what we take from the internet, and that is a problem. Students get assignment, and because they don't want to take time to read through the information, they just put everything there. They don't even look on it and try to understand it. That is not learning. When you just take the information and you just put it right in the book, and then you submit it to teacher, and when teacher comes to class and asks about this or that, you're unable to give the information that is required of you, because you just simply just do the work, take the information, take person's information off the internet. And I spoke to my class about that also, taking people's thing off the internet and giving it to me and passing it off as if it is yours. No, we need to move away from that. When you read your information and you understand it, you put it in your own words. So when teacher asks you, you know that you are right on par and you're able to answer politely, right? So it is your responsibility to do your research. And when you get your textbooks, and those persons who already bought some, I don't know why, but we will speak about that. But when you get your textbook, students, you use them. You don't just put them down and say, okay, it's online. I always encourage students to take notes at grade 6, because you need to review. When you don't take notes, and sometimes suppose the tablet crash and it never in a drive. If you did write it in your book, then you could easily review it. So we have to be very careful of what we're doing as it relates to technology. There's nothing wrong with it. And of course, we're enjoying it, but we want to ensure that we put our information in a safe place. So when we are ready for it, we can retrieve it, right? So students, you know your response, and everybody in my class, they know what I'm about as it relates to information. So do your part, submit your assignments, try as best as possible to do them on time and submit them. Ask for clarity. If you don't understand, ask the teacher. If you don't want to say it in class, tell your parents to send the teacher a message, because some students, they are like that. They don't like to openly say things, especially the fact that we just started and we have not yet developed that relationship. So the final thing for the students is to develop that relationship with your teacher, because your teachers, guys, definitely they want what is best for you. So even though sometimes it might seem as if it is too much, just push ahead, because all of us here, we want this cohort to do much better than those who left, right? And as Mr. Silva said, this year, everyone has to learn. All right, guys. So thank you, everyone. And I am going to just hand over. I don't know if Mr. Morgan has anything to say.
Yes, thank you very much.
Supposed to put in his 2 cents. Sorry about that, sir. I was taking over. So the 2 minutes, they are up. Mr. Morgan.
Thank you, Miss. Thank you. And good evening again, parents, guardian, colleagues. Just 2 quick things I would like to say. I must congratulate, first of all, the vast number of parents who have made the effort to have their children online and attending classes very regularly. We have just a few who need to get things going. But having done that, parents, there's a second responsibility for you. Your children, I can tell you, at this stage in their lives, they easily go off track. They are easily distracted. So we're asking you kindly to have them as comfortable as possible in a space where it's sort of personal. In other words, when they're online, when their cameras are open, we see what's happening around them, and sometimes parents get involved, and you have 30 students in the class is seeing exactly what's happening behind their other student colleague. It is destructive. But worse than that still, there are a few parents that we want to encourage to ensure that the child's surrounding is quiet in terms of conversation that goes on within the surrounding that is inside the same space that they're trying to learn. It's very, very uncomfortable. And like I say, they are easily distracted. So we'd ask a few parents to tone down or monitor their conversations when the students are online at school. And a quick reminder also that students are to dress appropriately for class. And we are going to suggest no merino, no sleeveless. And we would really prefer, as we had indicated earlier on, that they be dressed in their uniform or PE gears. Otherwise, we encourage no merinos and no sleeveless for classes. And there are some other things that we'll pick up as time goes by, but we have to continue. So let's go on. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Mr.
We're not hearing you, Miss.
You're hearing me now? Are
Yes,
you hearing me
Yes,
now?
Miss. Yes, Miss.
Okay, so I was going to add submission of work. All right, there are quite a number of students, and this goes right across the grade, who are not submitting their assignments. And I think that if this has started so early, then I am in fear of what might happen when the real teaching begins. So I am just going to encourage the parents to encourage the children to do their work. When you come home the evenings, yes, I know you might be very tired, but make it your duty to ask what was done and ensure that you see it and ensure that they submit their work. Because if they don't submit their work, then we will not know if they're learning. We will not know how to assist them in moving forward to achieve more. So please, parents, I'm begging you, ensure that they complete their tasks that they are given. The other thing is their cameras as well. Most students complain that they cannot turn on their camera because their background is not appropriate. But I'm just going to encourage you again, parents, that you can just get a curtain and just put it on the wall, get some nails, put it on the wall, and that could be their background, right? A simple, easy background. Or the students can get a cartridge paper, a sheet of cartridge paper, decorate it, tape it on the wall, and that could be their background, all right? To cover certain things or to hide whatever it is, so that they are more comfortable in turning on their cameras, because we do need to see them. We do need to know what is happening, behind those cameras, because sometimes they just sign in to the meet and go about their business. So we want to know. So please work with us, parents, as we try to achieve the most from this situation that we're faced with. We are now at the question and answer segment. So, Miss Christie, will you be looking out for the questions for us? And Mr. Stewart, for persons who have questions. Are there any questions?
I'm not seeing any question in the chat. Or person, parent, you can go ahead, type your question, or just quickly raise an icon on your device. So we can.
I see a Kimon with a question. Go ahead, Kimon.
Pleasant afternoon, teachers and parents. In regards to the form that sent to be filled out. Is it a possibility where it can be refilled? Because from hearing the update that Miss De Silva has delivered earlier on, for me myself, I made some errors on it.
All right. So thank you for that question, Miss. All right. So yes, but you have to use another email to access, or what you can do is inform your child's teacher that you have made errors and you want to, correct some of these, you want to make some modifications, and then you can WhatsApp the corrections to them. I think that would be better. All right. So just let them know the child's name and that you have made some errors and that you want to do these corrections, and then you WhatsApp the corrections to them privately. Would that be okay, teachers? Will that be the best move? Because we don't want to fill out the form and then have to go back again to make corrections.
Miss De Silva. Miss De Silva,
Yes, miss?
is she talking about the preliminary paper?
Yes, miss, the one that we sent out.
Right.
Are you hearing me, miss?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Yes, miss. So
That
that's
shouldn't
all
be a
right
problem.
with the errors. You just inform the child's teacher about the errors that you have made,
Right.
WhatsApp the changes that you want to make, and that will be done.
Right.
Okay, the other question. When should the books be picked up? And I'm assuming it's the textbooks.
All right, I'm not hearing that question clearly, miss. Don't know if any other teacher is hearing.
When should the books be picked up?
Okay, all right. As with regards to the book, you can look forward to get some information on that with the next 2 weeks. All right. So within the next 2 weeks, you will be informed of when you can come and pick up the book. And with regards to the books, parents, once you get those books, please ensure that they are well taken care of. You must see to it that the students take care of them and they must be returned at the end of the school year. All right? Because the other cohort of grade 6 students, they will need the books to use. All right? So you cannot lose them, you cannot tear them up or anything like that. We must take care of those books. They are a loan from the ministry and we must return them in good condition. Go ahead,
Okay,
Denise.
next question is, my niece is, let me go again. My niece is overseas. Good evening. My niece lives with me. Her mom is overseas. So I had to put my information on the form. Is that a problem? So the
No, that is not
mother
a
is
problem.
overseas, but the child lives with aunt.
That is not a problem, miss. It's not a problem at all.
So it's a no problem because the aunt is actually acting as a guardian.
Right, so it's not a problem. That's quite fine. I see a question.
When was the form sent out? And that is coming from Dwayne Johnson. So maybe Dwayne hasn't received this as yet, or when was the form sent out? That's the
I'm not hearing you
PEP
clearly,
form.
Miss Christie.
Dwayne Johnson is asking, when was the
Mr. Morgan here. When was the form sent out? Some were sent last week, some sent early this week. The form is
so look here. You notice Miss when it's on, ask her to read them for her. Yeah, man, my side bad, I know. Thanks.
The form is in Google Classroom for each individual child. The parents is to complete the form and send it back through the child's email in class.
All right, we have a hand raised, Miss Silva. Good night again, everybody. Belize Romwell.
Okay, thank you. Good night, teachers, parents, students, good night. Just 2 questions. You mentioned 2 tests, application tests, which would be in March, and also curriculum-based tests. Can I get the date for the curriculum-based tests?
That would be in April. That's the tentative date for now, April.
April, okay. And the performance on these 2 tests, those will be added for the PEP performance as well? Or is it just practice?
All the tests will be added, and that will give them a final placement score. All 3 performances will be added.
Okay, all
and
right.
If they do the grade 5 one in grade 6, then that as well will be added.
Okay, so March and April. The last question, as it relates to the form, is there a deadline for submission?
Okay, so the deadline for submission is Monday. So you have the weekend to do your research, to discuss the choices with family members, your children, whatever it is, and we should get those forms by Monday, the latest.
Okay, and I just saw someone post in the chat that there's also an ability test in February.
Yes, that's the first component, the ability test in February.
Okay, okay, thank you. So Monday is the deadline for the forms. Thank you so much.
You're most welcome.
Miss, there's a question in YouTube, on YouTube. It says, good evening, will the link for the form be sent in the WhatsApp group? They're asking if the link for the form will be sent to the WhatsApp group.
Mr. Brown, can you answer that one, please? If the link to the form can be sent to the WhatsApp group.
No, it can't be sent to the WhatsApp group in any WhatsApp. It must be done on the Google platform, because that is how it is designed. So unfortunately, if you're having some challenges with your device or you're not able to access it, I'll be at school throughout the days, so you can come to school to get it sorted out, right? But it cannot be done via WhatsApp.
All right, thank you, Mr. Brown. And if you're having issues, parents filling out the Google form, just let your teachers know, all right? Let the teachers know, and we will try as best as possible to see if we can create the form in another way to send to you so that you can access it, all right? So whatever issues you're having with the form, please don't delay in letting us know, all right? So that we can solve the issue as quickly as possible.
Okay, thanks, Miss. I guess that would cover some persons in the chat seem as if they made some mistake on the form. So I guess you two can go up to the school or notify the teacher and get another one. All right, so there is somebody asking, will there be any extra lesson to prepare for PEP?
All right, I cannot give a definite answer to that yet. The principal will have to make a decision on that. So you will be informed about that.
Okay, okay, somebody's asking if they can come to the school for the form. I think Mrs. Silva just answered that you can just notify the teacher of the problem you're having, and you'll be directed as to what to do. Once your child is signed to Google Classroom, the form is there. Just okay, a parent plays something in the chat. Once your child is signed to Google Classroom, the form is there. Just reload the page and you'll sure to see it. Okay, so we're not. Tina's hand is raised, Mr. Silva. So Tina, you can go ahead.
Good evening, teachers and parents. I was wondering, because I didn't write in my daughter's middle name. So I was wondering if it's a problem.
All right, so all you have to do, maybe it's not a major problem, but what you can do is just send that information to the teacher. Just inform the teacher and you just send that information to the teacher. It's not a major problem.
There are no more questions at this time.
Right. I see a Tina, miss. Did she go already?
That's the person who just went.
Okay, okay. All right, so since there are no more questions, parents, I just want to encourage you again, right, to just motivate your students, motivate them, right, and keep on encouraging them. Because as Mrs. Douglas mentioned, they are not intrinsically motivated. They need an external force. They need outside cheerleaders. And guess what? We are going to be their cheerleaders. Parents and teachers, we are going to cheer them on. We are going to motivate them. We are going to sing for them, and we are going to lift them up, right? That is what we're going to do together. So again, please don't be afraid to talk to the teachers. You have a wonderful, caring set of teachers at grade 6. I must brag about that, right? So you have nothing to fear. Whatever issues you are having, don't be afraid to let us know, and we will work together to see how best we can solve those problems. And remember that this is the year at grade 6, every child must learn. And I just want to leave this quote with you, parents, before I hand over to Mrs. Nelson. And this is a quote from Jane Hull, and it says, at the end of the day, the most overwhelming key to a child's success is the positive involvement of the parent. At the end of the day, the most overwhelming key to a child's success is the positive involvement of the parent.
All right,
I now hand you over.
No, miss, before you hand over, two questions just popped up. One that says, what about the students who have no MOE email address as yet? What's going to happen to them?
So those students who have no MOE email address, I think I addressed the issue. Those parents were called or spoken to individually already, and they were told what to do. And we know what we're going to do to assist those parents.
Okay, thank you.
I did speak to those students already yesterday.
You can go ahead and hand over, Miss.
Okay, Mrs. Nelson.
Yes, Miss, I am here. Good evening, everyone. All protocols observed. I consider it an honor and privilege to extend the vote of thanks. Once a great man whispered, feeling thankfulness and not expressing it is like wrapping a gift and not giving it. On behalf of the grade 6 team, I'd like to express my sincere gratitude to our guest speaker, Ms. J. Christie, our guidance counselor, for taking the time from her busy schedule to grace this occasion and enlighten us with these valuable information on the cluster schools within the area. I know this will enable the parents and guardians to make the right choice. Thanks to our principal, vice principal, IT teacher for the usual support and standing behind us as a tower of strength. Thank you, parents and guardians who made the extra effort to attend this meeting to support your child progress and the work of the school and grade. Once again, thanks for making this meeting a success.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Nelson, for saying thanks to everyone. All right, so before we go, parents, I want you to just hold your children, just hold them, just touch them and tell them that they are gems and that greatness exists in them. Just hold them and tell them and just speak that over them. Speak that in their ears every morning when they wake up, every night before they go to bed. Just continue, parents, to encourage and motivate them, affirm them, and let them know that they are gems. There's so much greatness within them, just bursting, and all they have to do is just realize what they have and just work hard, and their dreams will become reality. I thank you again, everyone.
Mr. Silva, before you go, a parent is asking, what about the children who don't have anything to do their work? I'm not sure what they're asking, but they could clarify with another text.
Who don't have any what, miss?
And they don't have anything to do their work. So I'm not sure what exactly the person is referring to. So I'm asking that person to explain.
Is the person talking about a device?
I have no idea, miss. They just post that. So we're asking them to unmute or.
Miss, I was asking like they have no laptop or no phone or no tablets. Should they come to the school and pick up their work for grade 6?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thanks.
All right, Mr. Silva, I think that's it.
All right, miss. So the meeting has now ended. Parents, I hope you benefited from this, our first grade meeting. We look forward to having another meeting as we progress throughout the school year. Thank you.
Miss, somebody just came in on YouTube, and the person is asking if the form goes for grade 5 too. So you could respond to that. I guess she came in when you were talking about form, and she's not even sure which forms you're talking about. So she's asking if the forms are for grade 5 too.
No, just for grade 6. If there are any students though, which the parents will be contacted and notified. If there are any students in grade 5 who were born in 2008, then of course, those students will have to be sent to grade 6, but the parents will be notified shortly.
All right.
If there would be any such parent, then they would also have to fill out the form.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
I guess that's it.
Yes, miss, that seems to be it.